As disappointment goes, this one's pretty high up there. Hi, welcome to That to Wrap, the channel where I review TV shows, movies, and movie trailers. Today, I'm going to be reviewing the very, very disappointing episode 6 of The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. So if you have not yet seen this episode, please consider this your spoiler warning, as I will be talking about this episode in detail. So let's get on with the review. What was good about this episode before I go off on what I think was horribly wrong with this episode and what was really bad with this episode? Before I go into detail, I am aware that there is a theory, maybe it's true, maybe it isn't, that there was a second storyline that was altered due to the pandemic that we are currently in real life. And if that's the case, this last episode was definitely felt like there were so many plots missing and not even explored, but they ran to the finish line to get this episode done. Maybe because of all the editing, maybe because of the story that was rumored to be deleted and they went a different direction. I don't know what was the cause of that, but you definitely felt it in this episode. So let's get on with the good. Only two things really that I considered good about this episode was that we finally got to see Sam take the mantle or the baton to be Captain America, something that he should have done from the get-go at the end of Endgame, and decided to take his sweet time and have all of this that we saw in The Falcon and the Winter Soldier for him to finally accept his destiny or his role that Steve Rogers saw in him, and something that he should have done a long time ago, if you're asking me seriously. And honestly, I know everyone's given their fair their viewpoint as to what it was and why he went through this journey. For me, it was the ex-girlfriend syndrome. So he didn't want the shield, and then when he saw someone else with the shield, then he got jealous, and now he wanted the shield back. So, and then he goes after said shield to try to get the shield back, and it takes him a struggle. He has to grow from it, and until finally his true love, the shield in his instance, or the ex-girlfriend in my example, finally takes him back. So everyone's getting way too, taking a word from Rocket, maneuge to try to explain this story arc. It's literally the ex-girlfriend syndrome, what Sam's going through. But anyways, the other thing that was good about this episode was the ending. The ending with Isaiah Bradley. He finally gets the recognition. Sam, pulls some strings and gets a museum, or part of the museum of the Captain America museum to honor Isaiah Bradley. My thing was, how long did this take? They just had a mold of him, a picture. I mean, it takes months to do a bust, just a face, a head one, like they do in the NFL Hall of Fame or the Baseball Hall of Fame. So they did that way, way too fast, but that's besides the point. If you saw that scene and didn't get choked up watching that Sam honor Isaiah the way he should have been throughout all of his life, you have no heart. It was tough for me to hold back the tears, because if you just take yourself out of the Marvel universe and think about our world in reality, that this happens to many, not just African Americans. I know they're focusing on African American, and obviously he's black, Isaiah Bradley, but it happens to many people where they don't get the recognition that they deserve, and they get thrown aside because history. And in my mind, it just took me there to what some of the people in our lives or in our experiences and in all of our lives and all of our experiences that are under, valued, I guess. So that scene was hats off to Marvel for at least giving us that, I guess, kind of a closure to a story, because they didn't have many closures in this story, in this show, and they left a lot of stuff just up in the air and just rushed to the finish line, as I said in my opening monologue. So let's get on to the bad, which I have many, and I had to cut it short because I could have just kept on going. So first off, I just, again, I'm saying I like Sam as Captain America, but that outfit looked horrible. His new, everyone's calling it a Wakanda suit. There is no Wakanda. There is no vibranium except for the wings and maybe his little shields like Steve Rogers and his ankle where they have actual metal, but the actual uniform is strictly, it seems like the same material that Captain America's Steve Rogers outfit was made of. And from a distance, it looks dope. And I get that it's comic accurate, and from a distance, it looks great. But when they get up close, the way it flexes, the way it bends, maybe it's because it's a series and not a movie. Maybe they didn't put that much thought or CGI to fix it, and or why they chose to have those close angles or those close ups on his suit. I don't even think we've had that many close up in Steve Rogers or Iron Man or any other character as much as they did with Sam's outfit. And again, I get that it's comic accurate, but it was just horrendous. He couldn't move his head. When he turned, he almost, you know how when you have a crick in your neck when you sleep wrong and you have to turn your whole body to turn? He was basically doing that. And then you're expecting me to believe that all those jumping moves and all that parkour, Brazilian jiu-jitsu that he's doing, like that he's able to do it with a suit that looks so unmobile, it completely took me off. All the time I'm like, get out of here. When he's just walking or looking around or just trying to do anything, you could see how uncomfortable Anthony Mackie is wearing that outfit, but yet I'm supposed to believe that everything, that he's able to maneuver and is such agile with this thing on, where in reality you could see, your eyes don't deceive you, he looks bulky. The headpiece, I don't know what the hell was up with the glasses. It looked all weird. But anyways, another part that I just couldn't stand was there was too much Iron Man in the Falcon suit. From the way Sam flew to how powerful the jets were, nothing about Falcon's suit was anything resembling Wakandan technology. Even when Red Wing goes and finds, when they're in the chopper and he says, "Hey, find me someone that knows how to fly," that is Tony's tech. We see it with Edith when in Spider-Man, when he puts on the glasses and the way it tells him what everybody's like, typing or thinking or texting or whatever. That is strictly Tony's tech. So I'm confused as to where the Wakandans got this, because nothing in their technology showed me that kind of technology. It's more of the holograms. Yes, I'm not saying that they're not more advanced than Tony. That's a debate that we can have. But the tech shown in this episode was nothing but Iron Man. So for me, there was too much Iron Manning in Falcon's, epic scene. And I'm not the only one. Everyone, every channel, every website has said the same thing. Oh yeah, it kind of resembles Iron Man, or the way he was flying was almost Iron Man-ish. And I know everybody's trying to sugarcoat it, but that consistency, you have to be able to differentiate what is Tony Stark tech and what's Wakandan tech, what is, you know, Guardians of the Galaxy tech, what is all different kind of techs, even banner tech, if you want to call it some kind of banner tech, even though banner tech, I guess, would be the same as Tony's tech, because they both, you know, worked off of each other. But there was that what I saw wasn't Wakandan. That was completely Tony Stark, and it just made me like, what, did they steal Tony Stark's tech, you know, or did they share it at some point? And if they did share it, when did they share it, that they were able to do that? But anyways, another part that irked me that's really, really bad about this is that there was way too many callbacks. And by callbacks is subtle things that make you think about other movies. So the first one was when fake Cap is holding that armored vehicle from falling. All of a sudden, you hear the Captain America theme, and it's the same music that Captain America Steve Rogers had in Civil War when he's holding back the helicopter, and that, you know, when he's flexing all of his muscles and holding Bucky from getting away. Why are you even drawing those parallels? There's one's evil Captain America, and maybe because they were, oh, this is him, you know, redeeming himself, whatever. That was so annoying that they kept on doing that. They kept on doing that before that. But when they did that, they're drawing parallels to that scene. Come on, there is no parallel to those scenes. So why they kept on trying to force feed me that, or force feed us that, was ridiculous. The other part that got to me is the Sam and Carly scene when she's shot and she's dying, and the camera angle and how he's looking. Now, that angle was, the shot is trying to resemble Tony at the end of Civil War when he tells Cap that shield doesn't belong to you, and he drops it and he kind of walks away, and the way the camera pans back, why are you drawing those correlations? Why? You didn't develop Carly well enough to make this bond that they had between them to even have this be a dramatic moment. For what it was just so bothersome. And then another part that they were drawing parallels, when Tony Stark, I don't know, I think it was the first Avengers, when he's turning Stark Tower into a self-sustaining, you know, beacon of green energy, and you see him coming out of the water, and you see his shine from his propel, and you see it glowing underneath the water, and then he comes off. Literally, that was it. Again, they just another reuse of a shot. And again, why? So is Falcon supposed to be now our Iron Man / Captain America? And if that's the role that Kevin Feige is going, trust me, that's not going to be a winning thing for that, or a winning thing for Kevin. I know everybody thinks that Marvel Studios can't do no wrong. Trust me. There's a reason why we liked Iron Man or Robert Downey Jr. There's a reason why we liked Chris Evans. I'm not saying Anthony Mackie isn't charismatic and can't carry his own, because he has. But if you're going to try to amalgamate these two superheroes and turn it into like, oh, we could get the same kind of wow from these. No, nothing about that is okay. And so anyways, so that was one of the parts that they were drawing too many parallels. And again, I know a lot of people are trying to protect Marvel or sugarcoating it and trying to spin it because of the popularity, I guess, of this show, even though the numbers aren't showing what the popularity is, even though some are saying, oh yeah, look at these numbers, look, they're gonna report whatever they want to report because they want to push it. I know what I see trending. I know the dialogue. Go on Reddit, go on 4chan, go on Twitter, and you'll hear the majority of what they thought of some of these episodes. And I'm not here to debate that point, but so a lot of what I'm saying was echoed and has been being echoed and will continue to be echoed because I don't understand what you're trying to do, or what Marvel's trying to do, or what Kevin Feige's trying to do by having all these callbacks to these moments of other superheroes. So now let's get on to the ugly. Now in this ugly, I mean, again, I had to stop myself from just writing stuff down, because it was never ending. I mean, I'm sure I would have ended at some point, but it was like almost, I felt overboard. So I just took the major parts that I thought is the ones that I needed to address. So the editing, not only the fight editing, just the editing throughout the whole show. As I stated in the beginning, I don't know if it's true that there was another storyline that would have for a pandemic or a vaccine. I thought it was. I even made a theory about, when I said, hey, there's going to be something with a vaccine and stuff, but it didn't go nowhere because that was cut out. The whole story was cut out. And if the theory is to be believed, but the way this whole thing was edited, the gaps in the story is unbelievably horrible. If this was a project from any other studio, not Marvel, we would be ridiculing it. We would be calling this a incoherent story. We would be just destroying this movie or this show from here to forever, because that's how sloppy the storytelling was from this editing, from them having to cut stuff out. And again, I'm not saying that is because of their choice. They might have had to. They might have thought it was in bad taste if this rumor of this pandemic storyline is to believe to be true. But if it's not true, then what the hell were you guys thinking in the way you guys edited this whole series? And sticking with episode 6, look at what it was. From how they all got there, it's like we're just supposed to believe. There's no concerned effort to tell us how much time went by. All of a sudden, Sharon Carter is in New York. All of a sudden, Falcon knows every little tech device from his new suit. We at least got a montage when him trying to get accustomed to the shield, but just the way they cut the fights. Marvel is known for having 20 cut scenes for just one simple fight, and this wasn't even that. This was so sloppy. The way you went to a silhouette to try to hide whatever you were hiding, whether it was the stunt doubles and whatnot, I get that, but again, it was just horribly edited. Not just, like I said, this episode, the whole series as a whole. Carly's arc, what arc did she have? Just the fact that she was, she wanted to free or fight for the refugees, and then her arc to turning evil for everyone. This includes the YouTube channels. This includes the people that hated the Game of Thrones arc with Khaleesi. At least with Khaleesi, we could see the tendencies to this point. If you're gonna argue that, oh my God, I can't believe that in Game of Thrones she turned evil so quickly, this was worse. The way she goes from 0 to 100 or 0 to killing, all she wanted to do the whole episode was kill. We have to kill. I don't care if we die, but we're gonna kill. I'm gonna kill, pointing guns and just not. Yo, what was up with her arc? There was no, maybe because of the deleted storyline, but the way she goes and turns so quickly, and it's in 6 episodes. I don't know, because of they keep on pushing the Black Widow movie on, so I don't know if they had to rush it. Maybe they didn't know the unforeseen nature of what is this pandemic maybe caused this. But I mean, for putting her up in our faces from the beginning and then have it end that way, is so disrespectful to that character. I'm not a fan of the character. The whole fact that it's a teenager and everyone's supposed to be like following her. What life experience does she have? Just because she's a super soldier, we're supposed to like, oh, that makes her worthy of being followed? No, that part, you know what it almost reminded me of? You know that girl that is like right now in like the political realm, when she went and told everybody like, how dare you ask us to fix your like, is she supposed to be like a parallel of her? And if she is, oh my God, like enough enough with that. But there was no arc to her character, the way it went on. And it made that scene with her and Sam when she gets shot and she dies. You could see that they were trying to make us feel something. And I'm like, why is Sam even like this? Why is he... The fact that, and I know I should have said this in my parallel, but the fact that he didn't want to hit her, even though Bucky had no problem like smacking her around and hitting her with a chain and whatnot, but Bucky's like, oh, I'm not gonna fight you. Yo, this isn't the Steve Rogers and Winter Soldier scene in the Winter Soldier movie, when they're in the helicarrier and he says, oh, I'm not gonna fight you because I'm with you to the end. I was waiting for Sam to say some bullshit like that for me to be like, okay, click and turn it off, because I was like, it was so annoying to me, and I think you could hear it in my voice. And even at one point, it was like, I was expecting Sam to be like, oh, I could do this all day when they were fighting, or when he was getting punched, when he wasn't even throwing a punch at Carly. But anyways, yeah, there was no arc to Carly and no nuance. Again, maybe let's blame it on this mythological story that was deleted or whatever. But horrible for a major character. For you guys to go that route is horrible. And for every YouTuber and every website that was clowning on the Game of Thrones and is not clowning this, shame on you guys for pandering to the Marvel community and not holding them to the fire for the same way that you guys held the Game of Thrones to this garbage. Because that whole thing was garbage. There's no sugarcoating it. It was garbage. And for that to get slammed and still continues to get slammed and continues to be made fun of, and everyone's saying, oh yeah, I really enjoyed this episode. It was the best episode ever. Oh, I love Carly's arc. Get over yourself and stop pandering. You're not doing any service to no one by being and saying, oh, Marvel can do no wrong. This was horrible, the way they treated Carly's arc. Anyways, let's move on. Sam's fighting style. When did he learn to fight this way? Show me any movie where he knows and is doing these flips and is doing this Brazilian jiu-jitsu, and you know, where did he learn this from? There is no way that you're gonna make me believe that all of a sudden Sam is this multi-martial artist and is adaptable to so many different, you know, fighting styles. Even when he was training with the shield, I didn't believe all these flips. I'm like, where is this coming from? It's not even a good fighting style to fight when you're doing it in the real world. You get your ass beat by doing all those flips and back, you know, and side flips and back flips and front flips, and it looks dope. It looks aesthetically dope. But as far as an actual fighting technique, give me a break. And even besides that, you know, point, when did he learn this? From who did he learn this from? From Steve? In Wakanda? Where? At least Tony is gadgets. He, you know, even though I didn't believe that part in Civil War, when his AI says, you can't beat him hand to hand. And he goes, analyze his fighting style. And then she analyzes, and then they develop a fighting style. So what? Tony's just a puppet in there, you know, and the suit's actually doing all the fighting. So, I mean, that would be super hilarious to just imagine Tony being inside and his hands and feet and everything's doing everything, but he's just a meat puppet. You know, he's just a meat sack in there. and the actual Iron Man suit is doing all the work when he's just flailing around like, oh, whoa. You know, that is funny to think about. But yeah, it was just completely just dumb the way they had, you know, they had him do all these crazy fighting styles. And then the last thing is, why the hell was Bucky and his Asian friend's story arc even in this show? That conclusion that we saw when him going and telling him, oh, I was the Winter Soldier and I had no choice. And all that's it. From the moment we saw what it was in episode 2 or whatever, episode 1 to episode 6, that's it. You could have just left that out. It wouldn't have added any more to Bucky's arc of redemption. If you take those things out and you still have him go and every other shot, you just take the scenes with him and his Asian friend and that whole date that didn't go nowhere, and that end scene when he goes to his house and then he goes and sees him in the window the next day, apparently. You take those out, the arc's still the same. His redemption's still the same. Nothing changes. Why have that if you're not gonna fully explore that? And then you want me to feel something like, oh, this is some dramatic scene. It wasn't. There was no dramatic scene there. What was the point? What was the point of wasting that much talent, that much time, letting us believe that it's gonna be more to this story except a freaking flashback when he's the Winter Soldier? You could have had that same flashback and cut out the scene where he kills the person, where he kills his son for no apparent reason besides he was just a Winter Soldier and the Winter Soldier just kills anyone. That's not what the Winter Soldier was. The Winter Soldier was a specific killer. He didn't just go out killing random folks. He went out to kill targets. So this actually, for me, makes the Winter Soldier look like a buffoon, just a killer that he was never meant to, and actually hurts his arc or hurts his, I don't want to say reputation, because come on, the Winter Soldier already has a bad reputation, but the Winter Soldier was an assassin, not a cold-blooded murderer. And you might be saying, oh, it's the same thing. No. Like the Unabomber is a murderer that just kills people at random. Children, people, mothers, fathers, just people in general. They don't care. The Winter Soldier was not that. It was a weapon. That's why when Zemo, one of the things when they went to Madripoor and he, you know, was telling that the girl that got shot when we first got introduced to Sharon Carter, he was like, oh, and I'll give you the Winter Soldier with all the codes. Why? Not because he's an uncontrollable beast killer. Is because he is an assassin, the top assassin. When you hear the Winter Soldier name, it's supposed to make you fucking shake in your boots, be like, oh, that's a weapon that you don't want to mess. Natasha did a whole thing about this thing. Yeah, again, hurting my head. By far, this episode was the worst episode. And the fact that it's your last episode in an otherwise good series, not great, not in Wanda levels great. Wanda levels is about to start racking in the awards for just the brilliancy that it was. This was a good episode, I mean a good series, but this ending was trash. And if it was any other studio, any other production crew that came out with this whole written Swiss cheese of a episode, it would be getting killed. But the fact that everyone's hiding behind the fact that its broader message was about racial inequality, and I granted I enjoyed that part. I go back on my episodes and on the reviews of these episodes, I champion this and I say, great, it's so dope that they're making us feel uncomfortable and putting this out there, and everyone is that gives it a pass. No, it doesn't give it a pass. All right, this is still entertainment, and for entertainment purposes, this last episode was so subpar for a Marvel property. This is worse. People want to clown on Thor 2, want to clown on the Hulk. This was literally the bottom of the bottom. And everyone hiding behind them. Oh, Marvel and Marvel can do no wrong. And because they were talking about racism and inequality and, you know, the poverty level. That doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. The bottom line is that what we saw was so bad. But enough with my rant. That was my review. I want to hear your thoughts, your opinions down in the comments. Let me know. What am I missing here? What didn't I see? If you think that this episode was brilliant, that this episode was all so good. And before I let you guys go though, the fact that maybe Marvel just doesn't care about us and they're going to throw whatever they want down our throats. But that ending 2 minutes when they're partying and everything's, you know, it's like, you know, when a sitcom like Friends, when it ended, everyone got what they wanted. Literally, that's what we got. Oh, you know, Bucky got, you know, his redemption and is finally free from his demons. Sam finally overcame his, you know, ex-girlfriend syndrome and accepted the role of Captain America. You know, Isaiah didn't want to be exposed or keep me dead, but now, oh yeah, I have a wing in a museum. Zemo, you know, gets to his no more super soldiers, except for Sam, but no more super soldiers, and he blows them up. He gets his way. Sharon Carter is still the power broker. What a twist! Even though I was half correct on my theory, so I gotta give my credit, but I was off with a lot of theories. But Sharon Carter being there, and then she gets her pardon. And she gets to come back to the, like, everyone got fake Captain America becomes the US agent officially. And he's like, I'm back. And they're happy for whatever. He lost his best friend. He's shamed in public, but he's happy because his outfit is black now and he's the US agent. Talk about the corniest, not give a fuck about us move that Kevin Feige did to take that sitcom trope and use it, the audacity for them to use it and put that in the end, like, hey, we're gonna wrap it all up in a nice little bow. Here you go, after the garbage fire, the dumpster fire that was this episode. I gave it a pass with the other ones because it was a coherent story that they were leading us on, and we were all hoping for a payoff. There was no payoff. But the audacity for Kevin Feige to throw this shit up and down our throats, shame. For me, this episode is an F. An F, an F, an F. All around. The only two things, like I said in the beginning, Sam becoming Captain America and Isaiah Bradley getting his justice. But anyways, that's just my thoughts. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. And like always, that's a wrap. Damn it! This was horrible.